Assalamu alaikum. Let's start with our test today. What we just mentioned that will be test 1 in IELTS Academic 11, and we will complete what we already started. And last time we stopped in answer or in question 10, right? So let's start with question 11 and complete the test. Fidi Working Heritage Farm. Fidi Working Heritage Farm. So sometimes they will give you a kind of a title. Some maybe you didn't understand what Fidi house or what Fidi farm, but it doesn't matter because in listening you do not require to understand everything. You have to get this point. You do not have to know everything. For example, this may be a kind of name of a person. It doesn't matter. You just need to understand that there will be a heritage farm, and then they will explain some kind of information related to this farm. Okay, so let's start.
Section 2.
Section 2.
You will hear a guide talking to a group of visitors to a farm. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
So guys, before they will call it part 2, right? As I just mentioned it. Now they call it part 2. Before, this is old version of IELTS. They call it section. So there is no more any section. They will call it part 2.
Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Welcome to the Fidi Working Heritage Farm. This open-air museum.
So guys, one more instruction. Please, as I mentioned it before, there will be a language of the test of the booklet and the language of the audio, but the meaning will be the same, right? For example, take care, do not not to harm. For example, not to harm, they will say do not damage, or take care, or maybe they be careful not to smash or not to injure, for example, any something, right? So if they mention same language, same meaning, the next word that they say it here, you need to write that one, right? Not touch any, not touch. Sometimes they will tell you like be in a distance or be away of something. Do not come close to something. Do not touch. Where they can give you anything, where something. Not bring, do not do not couple with you, do not come company with you, do not maybe they will tell you please avoid to bring something, please anything. Okay guys, let's continue.
The experience of agriculture and rural life in the English countryside at the end of the 19th century. So you'll see a typical farm of that period, and like me, all the staff are dressed in clothes of that time. I must give you some advice and safety tips before we go any further. As it's a working farm, please don't frighten or injure the animals. We have a lot here, and many of them are breeds that are now quite rare. And do stay at a safe distance from the tools. Some of them have sharp points, which can be pretty dangerous, so please don't touch them. We don't want any accidents, do we? The ground is very uneven, and you might slip if you're wearing sandals, so I'm glad to see you're all wearing shoes. We always advise people to do that. Now, children of all ages are very welcome here, and usually even very young children love the ducks and lambs, so do bring them along next time you come. I don't think any of you have brought dogs with you, but in case you have, I'm afraid they'll have to stay in the car park unless they're guide dogs. I'm sure you'll understand that they could cause a lot of problems on a farm.
Okay, guys. So let's go back.
Before you hear the rest of the talk,
Let's go back and explain a bit by bit why our answer is like this. Maybe you will choose another what kind of answers, but we will see and we will compare why those answers are correct.
And you can be pretty dangerous. We go that period. And experience of agriculture and rural life in the English countryside at the end of the 19th century. So you'll see a typical farm of that period, and like me, all the staff are dressed in clothes of that time. I must give you some advice and safety tips before we go any further. As it's a working farm, please don't frighten or injure the animals. We have a lot here, and
Right, guys? Very clear answer, right? Do not frighten or injure it. So if you're waiting for them to say do not harm, that will be wasting of time. So do not injure or do not frighten and injure any animals. Any animals, okay? If you write animal, also will be okay. If you write animals, it will be okay. But follow the instructions or listen carefully to what they said, because sometimes it will validate or what it will be a valuation against the grammar, right? If you said animal and there are some what complete sentences, or the sentence have been completed and there is something wrong with the grammar, so it will be a problem. But to avoid all this kind of comparing, it is better for you to listen carefully and write what they said.
many of them are breeds that are now quite rare. And do stay at a safe distance from the tools.
Do stay in safe distance from the tools, right? Do not touch. They never said do not touch. They said stay in a safety distance, that be away. Do not touch tools. You get the paraphrasing, right, guys?
Some of them have sharp points, which can be pretty dangerous, so please don't touch them. We don't want any accidents, do we?
Why they said them? Because do not touch them. Again, they mention it actually. Do not touch them. But in the next in the next step, they said do not touch them. They didn't say tools. The problem sometimes with IELTS, they make referencing a lot. They mention some names or some word as the beginning, and then they start to rephrasing. It's mean they give the do not touch them, they that sometimes just mention it like that. And for example, for dogs also they said in the beginning they said do not bring dogs or whatever, and then later they said because some of them they will cause a lot of problem in farms. Some of them, some of what dogs, right? It's just like that. You need to focus.
The ground is very uneven, and you might slip if you're wearing.
And one more thing I want to mention, that guys, from audio listening, you can learn a lot of phrases and words, new words. It's just amazing, IELTS, especially listening. The ground sometimes it will become uneven. Uneven, what mean in what's how uneven, right? Uneven, it's mean not in a level, not level it, right? Level something that be in the level it or be what be flipped flat, what I call it, or what we call it, flat. The ground not flat, so you need to wear something.
Handles. So I'm glad to see you're all. So please don't touch them. We don't want any accidents, do we? The ground is very uneven, and you might slip if you're wearing sandals. So I'm glad to see you're all wearing shoes. We always advise people to do that.
Wear a shoe. So that's
Now,
advice.
children of all ages are very welcome here, and usually even very young children love the ducks and lambs. So do bring them along next time you come.
For the ducks and what? And they said lamb, right? Do bring with you, or do bring, let the children do bring with them, right? They said let them bring with them. He didn't give any restriction, or he what advice to not bring them. So what we do not supposed to bring, that will be your answer.
I don't think any of you have brought dogs with you, but in case you have, I'm afraid they'll have to stay in the car park.
They have to stay in car park. I'm afraid they have to stay in what they. What the referencing of they? It's referred to what? To dogs, right? They said, I am afraid it's better to stay in the car park. Do not bring them. It means do not bring them. So if you wasting, sometimes when the answer come at the beginning, you can write it outside the what, outside the designated area. You can write it here docs. So when the referencing is come as corrected answer, is correct answer, so you can what, you can write it down. And some instructions for listening. Please, guys, be remember that in actual test exam there will be a what, an answer sheet after you complete your all the 40 answers, so you can transfer all your answer to the answer sheet. So don't worry that if you, even if you write here, some word maybe will become some words will become very long. So if you even you can what, you can number it here down here like 14 docs, and then when it comes to the time of the transferring your answer, you can transfer it to the answer sheet. So let's go.
Unless they're guide dogs. I'm sure you'll understand that they could cause a lot of problems on a farm.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time.
Maps, guys, let's go to the maps. Sometimes in IELTS they will give you a kind of maps or a kind of what, a direction, so they will test your direction. So for example, because they need you to understand the directions in a clear way. So if you travel to a foreign country and then you want to ask of something, or if they give you instructions to go in a certain place or a supermarket, whatever, so you need to understand the language of directions. So that's why in IELTS it's very common. What maps will be very common. In my first test, I remember in Sudan, 2019, I have what I had what we had map in our exam. So it's very important for you to understand how you can solve the map. I will give you in a very short or in a very short, or in a concise way, some instructions to understand the maps. So there will be, in all the maps, there will be an area where they ask you, you are here, for example, or sometimes the main entrance, whatever. So they, from that point, they will guide you through all the all the other points. So they will start, for example, here. It's very clear, right? You are here from the new barn. From here, then they will take you to the other directions. When they finish the first point, then again they will start from the beginning, and then they will guide you through all the other points. So what you need to do, even in the exam, you need to follow the you need to follow the directions. Whatever they said in audio, you need to follow them with your pencil. Keep your pencil here. When they said from the new barn, you need to turn right. Turn right in the beginning, so you follow like this. If they ask, if you said you go ahead through the main main path, you go through like this. If you they ask you from your area where you are in the new barn, you need to look at the opposite side, opposite building. This will be the opposite building. Before I struggle with maps, but finally with Asad Yagov, I recommended you to check with his explanation of IELTS. He is an amazing IELTS teacher. Okay, well, so if you follow this kind of what direction and instruction, you will never struggle with map anymore. So let's start.
Look at questions 15 to 20.
One more thing. Now we're supposed to read the map. So when they give you a kind of minute, please do not read the labels here. See the labels from 15 to 20. Do not read this because they will mention you. They will mention for you with one by one. They will. Sorry, it's not clear. So they will from 15 to 20. They will mention for you
Now
step by
listen
step.
and answer questions.
So what you need to do when they give you this kind of a spare time to check your the maps or to check the map, so you need to label the main points. Car park, you need to understand what's up here, what farmyard, footpath, road, and then here the main path, pool, fish, like this. You need to understand what's written here in the map. Do not follow or do not read the questions. Question 15 to 20. Do not you don't need to read this. They will mention it. They will mention them step by step or one by one.
15 to 20.
Now let me give you some idea of the layout of the farm. The building where you bought your tickets is the new barn immediately to your right. And we're now at the beginning of the main path to the farmland. And of course, the car park is on your left. The scarecrow you can see in the car park in the corner beside the main path is a traditional figure for keeping the birds away from crops. But
Very clear. First answer will be F. Why? They tell you from new barn you need to go ahead with the main path. Then in your left will car park, right? In your left, and then in the corner there will be scarecrow. It's very clear. Let's listen it again.
Crow is a permanent sculpture you can see in the car park in the corner beside the main path to the farmland. And of course, where you bought your tickets is the new barn immediately to your right.
You are here.
And we're now at the beginning of the main path to the farmland. And of course, the car park is on your left.
Yes, in your left.
The scarecrow you can see in the car park in the corner beside the main path is a traditional figure for keeping the birds away.
So they will give you very clear signs. They said in the car park, in the corner, beside the main path. In the corner, beside the path, that's F. So you need to write F here. You do not need to need to write the answer again as it is here. You need just to put the letter F, your first answer.
From crops. But our scarecrow is a permanent sculpture. It's taller than a human being, so you can see it from quite a distance. If you look ahead of you, you'll see a maze. It's opposite the new barn, beside the side path that branches off to the right, just over there. The maze is made out of hedges.
Amazing. The next answer will be G, right? Why? Because they said from the new barn you need to take the first turn to the left, to the right. Sorry, and then you can see it into to the side path, right? Let's listen it again.
Too tall for maze. It's opposite human being, so you can see it from quite a distance. If you look ahead of you, you'll see a maze. It's opposite the new barn, beside the side path that branches off.
Very clear. Opposite to the new barn. Opposite to the new barn, they will be in the same street, but opposite to each other. They facing each other. When things facing each other, that will be opposite. Opposite to the new barn, that will be G.
To the right, just over there. The maze is made out of hedges which are too tall for young children to see over them, but it's quite small, so you can't get lost in it. Now,
So please, guys, whenever they explain something about maze or what a cafe or scarecrow, that's it doesn't matter. You need to take some rest and make your brain to sleep or take rest. You do not follow all the instructions by brainstorming. You need to sometimes take your rest within the test. You need to take some rest. You get my point? So whenever they start the instructions or direction, so that's where you need to focus more and more.
see the bridge crossing the fish pool further up children to see over them, but it's quite tight just over there. The maze is made out of hedges which are too tall for young children to see over them, but it's quite small, so you can't get lost in it. Now, can you see the bridge crossing the fish pool further up the main path? If you want to go to the cafe, go towards the bridge and turn right just before it. Walk along the side path and the cafe's on the first bend you come to. The building was originally the schoolhouse, and it's
Very well description. Very nice description. Guys, there will be a kind of trap. They said from here, yeah, you are here. They said you see the bridge, cross the pool or whatever, fish and pool here. There's a kind of bridge. Go ahead. But he didn't say cross the bridge. He said go till there and then turn right. Let's listen again. And then he mentioned also another sign that the cafe is in the first band or in the band when you came here, right?
100, and the cafe's on pool further up the main path, children to see over them, but it's quite small, so you can't get lost in it. Now, can you see the bridge crossing the fish pool
From here?
further up the main path? If you
Can you see the bridge? Cross over the fish pool from here, right? That the bridge, and you are here, right? Through the main path.
to go to the cafe, go towards the bridge and turn right just before it.
Right? He said go toward the bridge and turn right.
Along the side path, and the cafe's on the first bend you come to.
Yeah, first bend.
The building was originally the schoolhouse, and it's well over 100 years old. As you may know, we run skills workshops here, where you can learn traditional crafts like woodwork and basket making. You can see examples of the work and talk to someone about the courses in the Black Barn. If you take the side path to the right, here, just by the new barn, you'll come to the Black Barn, just where the path first bends.
First bend.
Now, I mustn't forget to
This is H, right? It's very clear. We can listen it again because he said from here you can turn the first right, and then in the first bend you come to that will be the Black Barn.
About picnicking. The side path to the right, you can see examples of the work and talk to someone about the courses in the Black Barn. If you take the side path to the right, here, just by the new barn, you'll come to the Black Barn, just where the path first bends. Now, I mustn't forget to tell you about picnicking, as I can see some of you have brought your lunch with you. You can picnic in the field, though do clear up behind you, of course.
Okay.
Or if you'd prefer a covered picnic area, there's one near the farmyard, just after you cross the bridge. There's a covered picnic spot on the right. And the last thing to mention is Fiddy House.
Very amazing. After you crossing to the bridge and in your right, that will be C, right? Let's listen to it again.
Farmyard, just after you cross, do clear up behind you, of course. Or if you'd prefer a covered picnic area, there's one near the farmyard, just after you cross the bridge. There's a covered picnic spot on the right.
On the right, very clear.
And the last thing to mention is Fiddy House itself. From here you can cross the bridge, then walk along the footpath through the field to the left of the farmyard. That goes to the house, and it'll give you a lovely view of it. It's certainly worth a few photographs, but as it's a private home, I'm afraid you can't go inside. Right. Well, if you're all ready, we'll set off on our tour of the farm. Private home, I'm afraid the field to the left of the farm. And the last thing to mention is Fiddy House itself.
Last thing to mention is what? Fiddy House. Let's listen to the instructions.
From here you can cross the bridge, then walk along the footpath
From
through
here,
the field.
from here, guys, you have to focus on here. You are here, right? All the directions, they will start with you from the point that they said to you, you are here. From here you can cross the bridge. After crossing the bridge, you need to follow the footpath
to the left of the farmyard. That goes to the house, and it'll give you a lovely view of it. It's certainly worth a few photographs, but as it's a private home, I'm afraid you can't go inside.
That's kind of description, or prescription of the Fiddy House. So guys, I hope you are enjoyed the video, and inshallah for the next one we will explain a bit by bit something I think is a bit difficult, or the most difficult part of IELTS, which is call it what, MCQs, or multiple choice. It's really difficult, but bit by bit we can explain it. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.